Today, what we're going to do is we're working on an 88 C1500, and ignition is shot. It's actually stuck on the on position. I've already disconnected the battery. We're replacing it today with the ignition lock cylinder 924791. That's what it looks like. Comes with two new keys and a new lock cylinder. So when this is all said and done, hopefully this thing will unlock again, right? Alright, well, we'll get back with the next step. First things first, use a flathead screwdriver. We're going to just pump this up all around it to get it to where it slides out. Next, you're going to see a little horn device which activates the horn. You want to push that in and spin it counterclockwise enough to where it'll pull it out. So we'll do that next. So you can see where you just literally, a little locking tab right there, just turn it a little to the left and she'll pull out. Next, we're going to take that locking tab off and then pull the string wheel nut. Now that we got the 13/16 nut off, you're going to want to use one of these OEM tools, part number 27017. And this is what screws into the steering wheel and pushes from the center to unpress the steering wheel from the steering column. Sometimes you get lucky, but this one we're not fighting it. I mean, I don't want to break the column, so we're just going to use the tool like we're supposed to. Okay, now that you got the tool set up, you can see where it screws in both sides, right? And then you use this center one and you screw it in and it pulls the steering column off. So always make sure that this is flush with the steering wheel. These are bottomed out, not just a couple threads, and then start cranking on this and it'll pull it off. And there you go, you'll be left with that. See, all it does is just push off this shaft here to press it out. Okay, one thing to note is there's, you see that little fat spot right there? I'll keep hold this and show you at the same time. A little fat little indentation right there. Well, that's what you're going to line up on the steering shaft to keep things in line. Just try to put it back the same way you pulled it apart. It'll go multiple different ways, but there's one wider one that you can line up that shows an indentation on there. Try to keep it there. First thing you want to do is put this tool on there. It is a steering wheel locking plate remover, part number 81051. And you're going to screw it on and you're going to press this plate down so you can get that little locking nut or locking pin. A little bit better right. As you can see, right there. Yeah, little C-clip, I'm sorry. Okay, it can be a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you can see with using a pick and get it to focus and a screwdriver, you can start to get it to come out. And you see what I'm talking about. So, alright, once you got it, this thing's having a hard time focusing there. Once you got that C-clip, snap ring up, you can go ahead and take this off, take pressure off of it, and we're going to release this plate here. Now that the tool's off and the clip is out, I'm going to pull this off next. We're just going to expose the inside. And let's move on to the next step. Also something to remember when you pull this off, you can see that there's little teeth in there. This only goes on one way. Remember, we're lining everything up to that big, solid section there. So, you see what I'm talking about. See? The next thing we're going to do is slide this off. This one's not keyed. It just sits in there. Doesn't matter, it floats. It's the horn actuator basically. So it grounds everything out to give you your horn. Pull that off. Then we're going to go ahead and get 3 screws. 1, 2. There's one that's hiding back there. In order to get to it, turn the turn signal on, right turn signal. That'll give you access to all 3 of them. Use a magnetic Phillips head when pulling these out, so they'll pull them out. They're buried down in that little hole. You see what I'm saying? All right, let's go on to the next step. Next step, pull this screw, and this actually sits in a little tab right here, which actuates. See how it's moving a little bit? So when you pull it out and you put it back, you want to make sure that it's locked in place. You'll see what I'm talking about when I get it out. Got it undone. See what I'm talking about? Got a little screwdriver, a little pick here. See how the handle fell down? So, that's what I mean. And you'll see in there. Little tab it sits in. Alright, on to the next piece. Next step is we want to get rid of this hazard switch, and we're going to pull the screw right there in the middle, and that will release this mechanism right here, the turn switch mechanism. See, when you take the screw out, you have a screw, you have a little spring, and a button. So just make sure you put it back together the same way you pulled it apart. You want to make sure your steering column is straight, and that'll give you just enough wire to pull this up out of the way. Next thing you're going to want to do is this right here. You're going to push a little tab and you're going to pull this out just like that. You see the little tab button I was talking about, you push it in. Make sure you don't lose that. Leave it on there just the way it is. Next thing we're going to do, get our, I think that said it was C15 Torx, and we're going to pull that screw out right there. Yeah. Alright, now that the C15 Torx bit is out, we should be able to, well, supposedly, oh, there we go, pull this bad boy out with the old and in one's new. So let's see if we can slide this thing in there. Okay, since mine was stuck in the on position, you can see all that wear and tear. We're going to clean that out and then slide it back in where it's supposed to go. I'm going to use the air chuck to blow it from here out so none of that debris gets in the column. Yeah, let's see what that does. Oh yeah, it's much better. Alright, when placing it back in there, you want to make sure that that key channel goes on the bottom side. Even though mine's stuck on, we're going to slide it in there right where it's supposed to be. And you can see where we're going to line it up, get it to fall in place. There we go. And so now, there we go. And now we're going to put our screw back in and go backwards on everything. Yep. Put the screw back in. And she's working fine now. Now we're going to go ahead and retrace our steps, put everything back together, and pull it out for today. Slide this back in. Sliding that back in, you want to make sure you turn your key on, and then it'll fall into place. Okay, got the 3 screws back in. Got the hazard switch back in. Make sure it works. A little way it sits, remember? And then put your bar back in and make sure it's connected to your actual turn signal. See? Alright, move on to the next one. Put our horn actuator in next. And then remember, we got to line these teeth up. Alright? So we're going to put it down there right there. And let's go ahead and press it back down. Make sure you slide your ring on first before you start to press this back down. Alright, once you get it properly seated back in there, you can go ahead and take this thing back off. Next, don't forget to line up your marks. Slide her back on. Put our 13/16 bolt back on there, and our locking tab, and we'll call it a day. Alright, last step is to put our horn back in. Remember, just slide that piece in there and turn it quarter turn to the left where it locks into place. If I remember when I was researching this on how to do this, this is from 88, I want to say it was all the way up to 99. A lot of similarities, but they're all the same basically. So if you like what you're seeing and this helped you, share, like, subscribe. And until next time, we'll see you in the next one.